Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are LA.
Well, the Indians last night used a 3-run rally in the 7th inning to take game 1 of this 3-game set. Tonight, the Angels try to even things up. It's game 2 from downtown Cleveland. We welcome inside Progressive Field and back to Angels baseball on Fox Sports West along with Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas, and for the Angels, the offense continues to kind of sputter along. It's been that way for some time. Last night we saw it. They had some opportunities, but only managed just 1 run in the game.
Yeah, Victor, you got to see the bats get going at some point. Take a look at our lows. Never stop improving. Over a 34-game stretch in which the Angels, the record is not there at 11-23. The batting average, the runs scored, the opponent's batting average, all those things come into play for the Angels. Have not been able to score enough runs, and the batting average alone at 221 has not given many opportunities to allow the starting pitching to relax and be more challenging, and that's been the big issue for the club. That's why you see them at that record right now after the last 34 games.
Yeah, and it's not just one guy, whether it's Mike Trout or Albert Pujols. Cole has had his issues. Eric Ibar's had some issues as well, so it's up through the lineup 1 through 9. Tonight, Mike Scioscia hands the ball off to Garrett Richards. Pretty good matchup overall when you look at Richards going up against the reigning American League Cy Young.
It's going to be a lot of fun, Victor. Both these guys have outstanding stuff, and look at these numbers. What Garrett did, especially back on August 3rd against Cleveland, tied a career high as far as 11 punch-out. Kluber, the reigning Cy Young Award winner, has been very good his last 2 home starts, his 2 earned runs in 18 innings pitched, 16 punch-outs. That cut fastball combination for both pitchers is very, very solid.
We're going to step away for a moment. When we return to Cleveland, we will focus in a little bit more on these 2 starters tonight. early today, Progressive Field, in game 2 of this 3-game set. We mentioned Kluber versus Richards. And Gooby, what's the difference between these two guys?
Well, both of them have good power fastballs, cut fastballs. Take a look at our tools in the trade, brought to you by Ram Trucks. Kluber, a very good fastball. Not as hard as the fastball from Richards as far as velocity, but he locates that fastball so well. Throw a 2-seam, 4-seam, cuts the fastball extremely well, pitches deep in the games. Garrett Richards has that very good slider. We'll go back to over with his curveball. Slider's outstanding, and his cut fastball rush is up there at 97 miles an hour.
We'll see if the Angels can even up this series. We're just about ready for baseball here in Cleveland. Sit back and relax, even strap it down. We've got lineups of first pitch when we return.
Some dark skies in the distance. We might get some spotty showers throughout the night, but the game will start on time. Indians have yet to take the field, but the umpires are a little bit tardy themselves. Larry Vanover just made his way out. Looks like they're going to wait for the lineup cards to be exchanged here. Maybe they already have. We just haven't seen it. Nobody's ready to play baseball yet, but you and I, Gooby, we're ready. We're ready to go.
Yes, we are.
You never know what's going to happen on any given day when it comes to baseball. The Angels last night dropping the opener, heartbreak. 3-1 the final now in a 3-run 7th inning, and Cleveland made it hold up. Doesn't get any easier tonight with Corey Kluber on the mound. Now the Angels did beat Corey Kluber the last time they faced him at the Big A, and that was courtesy of Connor Gillespie in a home run that he hit to deep right field against the traditional sinker baller. But Kluber is a tough guy. He is third in the American League right now in strikeouts with 213 of them.
Yeah, he's got a very good fastball, cut fastball, solid slider, curve, and changeup.
We're in the old throwback unis, the off-whites, if you will. Good look for the Indians as we take a look at Mike Scioscia's lineup for the Angels tonight. In a similar lineup as we've seen here of late. The only real difference in this one is that Chris Iannetta is in the lineup batting 7th and doing the catching. Otherwise, it's Calhoun, Trout, Pujols, Murphy, Ibar, Crone at DH, Iannetta, Cowart, and Green at second base as they take on the now 29-year-old right-hander Corey Kluber. He's the reigning American League Cy Young Award winner last year, 18-9 with a 2.44 earned run average. This year, a little bit of a slow start, but the numbers have certainly picked up for him as the season has progressed this year.
Yeah, don't look at that win-loss record for Kluber. He has thrown the ball very well. He's got a lot of run support. My go-tos against Kluber, get him early, especially early in counts between that 0-0 and 0-1 count, 1-0 count. That's a good success against him, and look away approach. So that fastball and cut fastball away against right-handed batters. So you got to be aggressive and use that middle of the field against them.
Defensively for the Cleveland Indians tonight, it's Brantley, Almonte, and Chisenhall in the outfield from left to right. Urshela, Lindor, Ramirez, Santana around the infield from third to first, and Gomes behind the plate.
Brantley out in left field, one of the better left fielders in baseball, has 7 outfield assists, 1 error. 75th start in left field, is also 24 in center field. So he covers a lot of ground and a very accurate throwing arm from left field.
This Angels offense, as we continue to talk about it ad nauseum, unfortunately for the Angels here in the month of August, it's just one of those things that it forces the pitching staff to be very perfect, as well as the defense, and that's where the Angels have gotten into some trouble, especially earlier this week and even last weekend. That series at home before heading on the road trip. Defense has been shaky. The pitching has been spotty at times. And it's just a bad combination of things right now. And all you can do is try to kind of put 1, 2, 3 games together in a row and try to get on a roll as you get into September.
Yeah, no question. I think being aggressive against Kluber is very important too. And pitches 1 through 15 in games this year. Kluber batting average .311 with 5 home runs.
Cole Calhoun ready to go. Tonight's first pitch being delivered by the UPS store. Kluber delivers a fastball that is ripped out to deep right field, and that is a long big fly for Cole Calhoun, who has struggled in the month of August himself. 1-0 Angels.
Well, there you go. Swinging that first pitch. We talked about success against Kluber. 1 through 15 as far as first pitches of the game. 5 home runs. Make that now 6 home runs. First pitch. Batter's .343 with 3 home runs. Now make that 4. Jumping on that first pitch. Fastball upstairs, and Cole covers that one, giving him home run number 20. It's already a career high for Cole Calhoun.
Nice little spark for the Angels to start the ball game off. As Trout looks at a fastball for a strike. Cole snapping 0 for 17 with that home run. Trout hitting .294, 33 home runs, 73 runs batted in. Chases a slider. 0-2 count. Cole batting .204 in the month of August. Trout's in that neighborhood as well. He chops this one toward short. Lindor lays back on it, gets rid of it quickly. Trout retired for out number 1. Mike hitting an even .200 in the month of August coming into action tonight. The Angels as a team have hit just .218. That's one of the lowest batting averages in a month.
Boy, it seems like every time Trout comes to the plate of late, he's down in the count 0-1, does not swing at that first pitch a whole lot. When you're facing somebody like Kluber, you're behind 0-1 right away. It's an even more difficult task to square up a baseball. Got jammed on that fastball inside.
Oh, 1 count on Albert. 252, 34 home runs, 75 runs batted in. Albert went 1 for 4 yesterday with a double, the 16th of the year. A bouncer to the left side. Ramirez, the second baseman, has it. 2 outs.
Here's tonight's Cold Hard Facts, which are brought to you by Clean and Crisp Coors Light, with David Murphy coming to the plate. Has hit in 10 of his last 11 starts, batting average over .350, 2 home runs, 4 doubles, and 7 RBI for David Murphy. Starting to see the ball very well, getting a lot of playing time, and squaring up some baseballs.
Murphy hitting .293. 7 home runs and 35 runs batted in. 1 for 3 last night with a single. Just managing 5 hits throughout the game last night. No balls, 2 strikes. yanked foul. Nine pitches, 9 strikes.
He's always around the strike zone. 213 strikeouts this year, just 35 walks for Kluber. It's 194 and 2/3 innings pitched.
Murphy just spoils that one, keeping the at-bat alive. Mentioned the 218 batting average for the month of August for the Angels. It's the 5th lowest in any month in franchise history. Lowest overall batting average any month, 206. That was in April of 1961.
Yeah, you can understand April sometimes when hitters just get adjusted to breaking balls the beginning part of the year.
Brantley moves over, puts the fly ball away, and it's the 3rd out. But on the very first pitch of the game, Cole Calhoun hits a 414-foot shot to right center. It gives the Angels a 1-0 lead. For the Indians is 61 and 66. Kipnis at DH tonight. Lindor at short. Brantley in left field. Santana over at first base. Chisenhall gets a start in right field. Yan Gomes behind the plate. Almonte in center. Urshela at third. And Ramirez, a switch hitting second baseman, batting ninth. As they take on Garrett Richards, making his 25th start of the season, a 12-10 record, 3.80 ERA.
Yeah, threw the ball very well against Cleveland with 11 punch-outs, which tied a career high early in the season. But my go-tos for Richards to be successful against Cleveland, throwing a lot of sliders for strikes. Strike percentage for a slider, a little over 65%. Very good as far as that slider throwing for strikes against Cleveland. That time when he punched out 11. Even though he's got a very good fastball, that slider is his go-to swing and miss pitch.
Richards goes to work with a 1-0 lead, delivers high to Kipnis, the DH tonight with 324, 7 home runs, 45 runs batted in. Indians last night with 10 hits. They just did get to 10 hits. That is their 10th straight game at home with 10 or more hits.
Especially the top of the order for Cleveland. Very, very good.
This one pulled over to first. Good off-speed pitch. Albert takes it himself. One down.
And establishing the curveball early on for Richards.
Halos defensively behind Richards. Murphy, Trout, and Calhoun in the outfield. Coward, Ibar, Green, and Pujols in the infield third to first. And Iannetta, surprising start behind the plate.
And Coward over at third base, 11th consecutive start at third base. Committed 1 error, has turned 2 double plays. Made a couple outstanding plays once again last night. Strong throwing arm for Cowart.
Francisco Lindor, the shortstop, hitting .309, has 7 home runs, 30 runs batted in. 1 for 4 game last night with a double, his 12th. He's at close to .450 now of his last 21 games as he cuts through that one. Good young shortstop. Good mobility at short. Good little hitter as well. That's a called strike 3. Larry Vanover rings him up. 1 out.
Good job attacking that zone there for Richards. But a key for this game for the Angels to be successful. Garrett Richards, times like these, little Foo Fighters. When you're ace on the hill going against a very good, the reigning Cy Young Award winner in the American League last year, you know you have to be the guy on the hill tonight to dominate. These are the times in which you move up as far as in the upper echelon, as far as starting pitchers. Richards, that chance tonight.
Coming off his toughest start of the season, giving up 9 runs, 7 earned. 5 innings of work against the Toronto Blue Jays. Second appearance against Cleveland. Facing Bradley, and the first one in for a strike. Mentioned 1 out after Lindor strikeout. Out 2 outs now. Kipnis had it grounded out to start off the first. Bradley, the left fielder, hitting .320. 11 home runs and 72 runs batted in after going 1 for 3 last night. Doubled his 39th, and that leads the American League. A lot of doubles in the game last night. Four of the 10 hits for Cleveland. Good pitch down and in.
Well, a good cut fastball at 96.
Richards in that start against Cleveland on the 3rd. Picked up the win, giving up 4 runs, 7 1/3, allowing just 4 hits and 11 strikeouts. It's a season high for him. One, 2 curveball is bounced up the line. That is foul.
Early on against left-handed batters, he's establishing his curveball, which is good. That's his all-speed pitch. 78, 79 on his curveball. Sliders 87 to 90 range. Fastball 94 to 97. So you need that differential as far as the speed of his pitches. Curveball is a good one for him.
Brantley shoots one over to 3rd, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Garrett Richards. The old shutdown frame. 1 to the 2nd, 1-0 Angels. Hashtag West State a strong fan for, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming Angels broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Always looking forward to that. Angels up 1-0 as we start the second. Nice 1-2-3 frame from Garrett, including his first strikeout of the night. Ibar steps up and takes ball one. Ibar, Cron, and Iannetta for the Angels here in the second. Eric had a 1-for-3 game last night. So he lifts this one down the line, slicing away from Bradley, and it'll find its place in the seats. One ball, one strike. Couple of fine defensive plays by Eric last night.
Well, that one he made on the backhand into the outfield grass and throw across the diamond was unbelievable. How quick his reactions were.
One hopper to short. One down. That's what Kluber does. He can kind of get on a roll. Miss hit quite a few pitches. Cole Calhoun certainly didn't miss. Very first pitch of the game, driving one out to right center.
And we talked about the similarities in our tools of the trade between Kluber and Richards as far as how many fastballs both like to throw. There's a little bit more two-seam fastballs than Richards does, but both with a very good cut fastball. Velocity a little bit different between Kluber and Richards. A lot of strikes for Kluber, always inside outside, especially on the outer part of the plate.
Had an 18 strikeout game earlier this year, one hit in 8 innings against the Cardinals back in May. Cron makes another strike, and it's 0-2.
And that's the two-seam fastball. See that late movement to bring it back and catch the outside part of the plate.
Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach, so a nice job. The pitch misses inside. Helped out, of course. We got a rotation like the Indians have. Kluber being at top. Carrasco, Salazar. We saw Bauer last night. Tomlin's going to pitch tomorrow. Breaking ball, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Kluber does a nice job as far as driving that front shoulder towards the plate. You see that a lot for hitters. When they're successful with a good swing, their shoulders are keeping that front side locked in. Kluber does the same thing as far as driving very well towards the plate. That's why he's able to throw so many strikes.
Full count. Payoff on the way. And Cron rips one toward the left field corner, and it goes all the way to the wall. Brantley with a good arm will go ahead and fire it over to third, concede the double for Cron, his 14th of the year.
And we saw a lot of those type of swings and double swings for Cleveland last night. C.J. Cron in that cut fastball that kind of ran back in on the inner part of the plate, drops the head of the bat and hooks that one right down to the left field corner for his 14th double this season.
Cron looked and felt very comfortable against Kluber in that August 3rd game. A single, a double, ended up going 2 for 3 against him.
Now 3 for 4 in his career versus Kluber.
So man in scoring position with 1 out and Chris Iannetta up. 188 batting average, 8 home runs, 30 runs batted in for Chris. First action for him since breaking up Verlander's no-hitter a couple of nights ago. Chris 6 for 40 in the month of August. 4 runs batted in.
Much better chance to square up a baseball with runners on as compared to bases empty against Kluber this season. Surprising.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Kluber kicking at that landing area.
Some odd numbers as far as Kluber this year in his wins. 8-0 with an ERA 1.62, and has also in 13 with an ERA 4.50. So not that even bad, even in losses. Not a ton of run support for Kluber.
Lays off. Evens up the count.
See that this averaging a little over 3 runs per game as far as run support. Second worst in that category in the American League. You love to see that get up there around that 6 or 7 rate, especially if you're like, say, Drew Hutchinson for Toronto.
Iannetta goes down looking for the second out. First strikeout for Kluber. Painted the outside corner with a fastball.
Drew Hutchinson can get some run support for Toronto. Fastball, catching that outside corner. That's that 2-seam fastball. Brings it back and catches the corner.
So 2 outs, Cron at second, Caleb Coward at the plate. Picked up his 3rd RBI of the season last night. RBI single. 1 for 3. Also picked up his first big league stolen base. Cron standing at second. A 1-out double for him. Off the plate. Larry Vanover showing that he's going to call the wide strike today on both sides, as he has here in the early going. Caleb 4 for 29 at the major league level. Two balls, no strikes.
Good hitters count now for Coward. Just look for a pitch to drive. How about up in Toronto today, Victor, when Edwin Encarnacion hit his 3rd home run? Toronto Blue Jay fans threw a lot of hats on the field for the hat trick. Loved it.
Hockey City.
Yes, indeed.
And there's a 4-pitch walk worked by Coward. So 2 on, 2 outs. Green coming to the plate.
Number 10, the second baseman, Grant Green.
Grant at 206 average. 0 for 2 yesterday with a double play ball and a strikeout.
Yeah, Paul Trevento today was saying about Grant Green, he wants to get him back in the thought process of trying to hit the ball hard to right center field instead of pull happy.
No balls and a strike. A couple of runs batted in for Grant. Got an opportunity here to extend the Angels' lead as he takes that one inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Again, adjust in on something off speed, hanging break a ball, but think in terms of line drive to right center field for Grant Green.
One and 2. Good slider. Big sweeping slider too. Big break to it. Green goes down swinging. The Angels leave 2 men on base. We'll head to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Halos.
Two of the biggest names in the UFC will face off as coaches as interim featherweight champion Conor McGregor and Uriah Faber join an all-new season of The Ultimate Fighter. The Mayhem begins Wednesday, September 9th, only on Fox Sports 1.
The Mayhem.
Mayhem. Santana, Chisenhall, and Gomes here in the second. Against Garrett Richards at a 1-2-3 first. Carlos Santana, switch hitting first baseman, hitting .225 on the year. 15 home runs, 62 runs batted in. 1-for-4 game last night with an RBI single. Breaks his bat, loose one out toward right, that'll fall in. Beats the shift even with the Green playing out in shallow right field. So leadoff man on board for Cleveland. Here comes Lonnie Chisenhall, the right fielder. Folks, join us for German Heritage Night. That's coming up less than a week away.
Yes.
Mark it on your calendar.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, yeah. Be sure to get your German package online and receive a German Angels hat and enjoy pregame entertainment at the Game One Music Garden to purchase your package. And for more info, visit angels.com/German. Friday, German night.
Perfect.
Saturday, Filipino night.
Perfection.
It's Heritage Weekend. Chisenhall came into the game last night as a pinch hitter. Ended up working a leadoff walk against Trevor Gott in that seventh inning. .261 average, 6 home runs, 31 runs batted in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Garrett wanted that call.
It's a pretty good pitch. Lower part of the strike zone. So we get a lot more calls from Ben over on the outer part of the strike zone.
Check swing foul, 1-2. Very little wind, if any, right now blowing here. Usually gets some off the lake blowing in. Some showers in the area. Chisenhall pulls one to the alley in right center field. It's a base hit. Santana will turn and head to third. So the first two have reached for Cleveland. Back-to-back singles. Yan Gomes coming to the plate.
All the pitches in the similar part of the strike zone against Chisenhall. This time got the bat head out enough to fight that in the right center field for a base hit.
Gomes the catcher, 219, 8 home runs, 31 RBIs. 0-for-4 last night. Mayfield looking for the double play ball. Gomes is grounded at 8 double plays this year.
Had Lindor ahead of the count against Lindor. 0-2, finished him off right away with a fastball on the outside part of the plate. Looking for a punch out here.
Gomes, the everyday catcher for Cleveland. Handles his staff exceptionally well. He skies one out toward left center field. Murphy moving over. Deep enough to score Santana. Murphy with the catch. The throw goes to second, and we're tied up at 1. Gomes, sac fly. 32nd run batted in.
And that slider kind of backed up on Garrett. Inner part of the plate, and Gomes gets the job done for Cleveland. By design, Richards wanted to throw that slider off the outside part of the plate, but it backed up on him. You know, occasionally do that when he flies open with that front shoulder.
Here's Abraham Almonte playing in his 20th game with Cleveland after being acquired in a deal. San Diego Padres hitting .273 with Cleveland. Switch hitter getting the start tonight out at center field. Almonte had the big RBI double that tied things up in the 7th. Eventually scored one of the other 2 runs after that double. One ball, one strike, originally with Seattle. This year with the Padres, played in 31 games at .204.
He likes to be aggressive on a fastball. Not so much on all speed. As you can see right there, another slider thrown from Richards.
A nice impression on his new mates when he came over. Had 4 hits, 3 extra base hits in his Indians debut. Upstairs. That ball slipped out of his hand, it looked like.
And when Richards throws his curveball, he has that finger off the baseball. Index finger snaps that over the top. Sometimes when he throws that break ball, if he's a little quick on his mechanics, that baseball will slip out and you'll see elevated pitches on his curveball.
Count remains at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Taylor with the run in the first. Cole Calhoun, first pitch of the game, homering to right center. Cleveland tying it here in the 2nd.
Leads off the next inning.
Chisenhall over at first base. 2-2 now from Garrett. Swing and a miss. Down goes Almonte. 2 outs. Second strikeout for Garrett.
Tight, sharp slider for Richards to get a swing and miss. Put that front shoulder in well in the rotation. Sharp break of that slider. Very good for Richards.
Giovanni Urshela, the third baseman, up. Dribbling foul at plate. 0-1 count. Urshela last night ended up going 1 for 2 with a base hit. He's at 229 for Cleveland. 5 home runs, 15 runs batted in.
It's like a couple times where Richards has landed is not real comfortable in that landing spot. Frustrated a couple times on his follow through.
Ground ball toward the hole. Ibar can't get there. It'll sneak through for a base hit. And even if he comes up with it, I'm not sure he's got to play, whether it's first or second base.
Have him reaching. Yeah, even if he gets to this baseball, he would have been completely off balance to make the throw across the diamond. No chance to get Urshela at first base.
So the second baseman Ramirez comes up now with 2 on and 2 outs. .200 average, a couple of home runs, 16 runs batted in. Got into the game as a pinch hitter and stayed in there at second base. Finish off the game. Home road splits for Garrett. 4.81 ERA away from the Big A. Down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And quite a few of those overthrown cut fastballs well off that inside part of the plate against lefties and away against righties. Again, easily corrected by having slow down just enough to keep that front side closed in for Richards.
Check swing. Looked like he went around, and he did. Adam Hamari rings it up. It's 1-2.
Looked like he went. Slider down and in. Crossing the plate, not only the bat, but his hands also.
Ground ball over to second base. Grant Green has it. Long underhand flip for the 3rd out. Cleveland ties it up on the sac fly by Gomes. We'll head to the 3rd. 9-1.
Rewind, very first pitch of the game. Cole goes kaboom boom, home run to right center field, his 20th home run of the season, giving the Halos at that point a 1-0 lead for Cole Calhoun.
414-foot shot out to right center field. He will lead things off here to third, followed by Mike Trout and Albert Pujols. Corey Kluber. He's allowed 2 hits, the home run, the double to Crone. He struck out 2 and walked 1. Home run also the 7th hit by Cole in the month of August. First one down and away. Starting to get that sinker working a little bit. A little more movement on it.
Doesn't happen too often against Kluber, but that 2-0 count hitters this season hitting .615, 8 for 13 with 2 home runs.
2-1. Even up the count. Kluber, born in Jacksonville, went to high school, grew up in Texas, Coppell, Texas, just north of the airport, Dallas-Fort Worth area, and then went to Stetson University. 4th round pick of the Padres in '07. Lays off, full count. He got traded over to Cleveland, part of a 3-team deal. Padres, Indians, and the St. Louis Cardinals. Jake Westbrook trade. 3-2. Cole reaches and shoots one out to left field. Bradley got a good read on it, puts it away for the first down.
Hit well by Cole going the other way, but a nice play by Brantley. Quick first step, track that one down.
Trout grounded out to short of the first inning. Swing first pitch. Lines went out the left. 2 outs. Fans, the Freeway Series returns to the Big A on September the 7th. Angels taking on the Dodgers for a 3-game set beginning at 6:05 on the 7th. Purchase your tickets at the stadium box office, or you can do so online. It is Labor Day, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for that series. Long homestand coming up for the Angels.
A very difficult, tough homestand. Rangers, Dodgers, Astros. All 3 teams at this moment in the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real walkthrough. Well, the Angels will face Seattle. They've struggled as well this year, but that's on the next road trip. Got to go face Oakland's pitching staff. And you mentioned the 3 teams in the homestand. And back out on the road, Seattle for 3, Minnesota for 4. They're obviously in contention. And then down to Houston for 3. Next 2-3 weeks. Rest of the season very tough for the Angels. And made tougher by the struggles that this team has had. Kind of put themselves in here in the month of August.
And even though Trout made an out there, that first pitch, he hit the ball well. It's good to see him attack that first pitch. What it does is a pitcher now, when you're facing Trout, that he may indeed swing at the first pitch. So you're more apt to throw something potentially off speed, and he can get ahead of the count instead of always taking that first pitch fastball for a strike.
Albert fouls it back. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Pujols. Grounded out to Ramirez. His first time up.
Kluber's one of those guys, too, that if you get him on a roll, it's just tougher and tougher. Try to get him. Pujols takes a breaking ball for a called strike 3, and the Angels go down in order. Third strikeout for Kluber. Top of the order coming up for the Indians in a 1-1 game. Buck Showalter, the Orioles, with Terry Francona with 1,267.
All with World Series championship rings as manager, except for Buck Showalter.
It's interesting. Francona was asked a couple days ago. It's starting to rain here now, a little drizzle. That did some talk about Mark Shapiro, who's the president of the Indians, and his name being mentioned with the Toronto Blue Jays, soon to be opening as far as presidency up there. He's got language in his contract that allows him to opt out if either Shapiro or Antonetti, the GM, were to leave. He had to address that, saying he's not going anywhere. A lot of changes in the offseason as far as gentlemen, front office, and even managers. Kipnis bounces this one to second. Green has it. One down. Jason was 0 for 2 now. He grounded out to Pujols his first time up.
And twice now he's grounded out on Richards' curveball.
Not a heavy rain falling here, just a steady little drizzle. And as I say that, now it's starting to pick up.
You said that. I looked up and go, it's a little bit harder now.
We're going to try to keep playing through this, because it's just supposed to be spotty stuff throughout the night. Lindor takes inside. A pretty good pitch. Indian shortstop struck out looking in the first. 2 balls, no strikes. There's a single out to left field, inside out of that one.
And Richards way more effective when his fastball is downstairs. Fastball up, went the other way. A lot more movement on his fastball for Richards when it's at the knees, inside and outside. Certainly Lindor a stolen base threat.
Pretty good lead for him at first base. Bradley fouls the first one. Michael lined out to Cowher to end the first inning. She's 0 for 1. This downstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Good action count now for Cleveland. A 2-1 count with 1 out. See Brantley trying to move those drops of water from the helmet. It goes right into his eyes, which makes it even more difficult to hit. I always felt that you have a better chance as a pitcher when it's getting rain like this, because it's more difficult to track a baseball. It's hard enough as it is. It's raining pretty hard right now.
Larry Vanover is calling for the tarp now. So we are officially in a delay now. Garrett walking off the field. Tarp being put on. The heavens have just opened up here in Cleveland. Anticipating some showers throughout the night. And we are getting them here. And at a pretty good clip. So official delay. We are in the 3rd inning. 1-1 game. And while we are in a delay, enjoy Angels Weekly. We'll get you updated throughout the night. Rolled up, and Garrett Richards finishing up his warm-up pitches here. We are scheduled, they said, about 8:40 to get started here, so in a couple of minutes the infield looks good. They got the tarp on the field very quickly, so not a whole lot of water damage on the infield dirt. But Garrett getting his warm-up pitches on right now, and not too long of a delay for starting pitchers. A lot of guys, that I guess it all depends, Gooby, on what the personal makeup is. There's some guys that cool down very quickly, others have no problem cranking it back up.
Yeah, he hasn't thrown a lot of pitches yet either in this game. Still not real comfortable, it seems like, when he's been delivering the baseball. Had an issue even before the rain delay as far as his landing area, taking that dirt off the mound and rubber area quite a bit since he's been throwing, but yeah, not as many throws so far in this game from Richards. And it's an opportunity to put yourself in position to get a win and the team to be able to get a little win streak going. That's what you want, an opportunity to go back out there. You're glad that Mike Scioscia's giving you that opportunity to go back to the mound. It wasn't that long of a delay anyhow.
Angels got their run in the first inning. Cole Calhoun on the very first pitch of the game, 20th home run of the season. And the Indians started up in the second inning. A leadoff single by Santana, actually back-to-back singles by Santana and Chisholm, and a sac fly by Yan Gomes made it a 1-1 game. We're in the third inning with one out. When action resumes, Francisco Lindor will be the base runner over at first base, and Michael Brantley will be the batter as Larry Vanover, the home plate umpire, is not ready to get things going here. Take a look at the hot upcoming schedule. Mentioned one more here in Cleveland. Then it's off to Oakland to face the A's for 3 games, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Off day for the Angels at home, and then the long homestand. Texas, the Dodgers, and the Houston Astros roll in. A 9-game homestand for the Angels before going back out on the road for another 3-city trip.
So this game very, very important for Mike Scioscia's club here tonight. So again, it's never really that hard, especially for a starting pitcher, especially it wasn't that long of a delay. It was more of a situation where you think in terms of mentally that your team had a long inning as far as scoring runs. And like I said, you relish the opportunity to be the guy on the mound to give your team a chance to win this game tonight.
What are you doing as a starting pitcher during a delay?
All you're going to do right now at that point if you're Richards is change the T-shirt underneath your uniform. That way you're staying dry. If that sweaty T-shirt, you don't want to get that cool air get in that shoulder. You just change the T-shirt, get back out there and compete.
Brantley has a 2-ball, 1 strikeout, 1 out. Lindor, the base runner at first base, 6 stolen bases for him on the year. He's been caught twice. Three and 1. Officially a 38-minute rain delay. The folks still on their way back down to their seats throughout this ballpark. They hit out to right field, a base hit. Lindor will stop at second.
And another fastball that's the upper part of the strike zone in this game for Richards. When Cleveland's had a good swing against him, it's been something upstairs.
5 hits now for Cleveland through 2 1/3 innings. A team that has hit 275 in the month of August, their best month this year. And now Carlos Santana will bat. Hit a single leading off the second. Scored.
He has rolled into 18 double plays.
One ball, no strikes on Santana. Yeah, it's always geared up for a fastball. Perfect candidate for a breaking pitch or off-speed stuff.
Especially a good curveball. Get him out in front, hit a ground ball to Grant Green to have potential 4-6-3 double play.
Evens the count of 1 ball, 1 strike. Games that matter for the Angels. Houston leading Minnesota 4-1. Baltimore and Texas and Arlington scoreless in that game at the bottom of the third. 1-2.
96 mile an hour fastball. It might be the best fastball velocity that Richards has had in this game. It's been a lot of 94, 95.
Down and in with the off-speed pitch. Two balls, two strikes. Trying to keep this a 1-1 tie in the third inning. Outfield straight around with Santana at the plate. Ibar shading him toward the middle, so a hole on the left side of the infield.
Another cut fastball, 96, in off the inside corner. Wonder at some point he'll try that backdoor curveball. See if he can get him to roll over and hit a ground ball in the infield.
Lindor at second, Brantley at first. Check swing foul. Otherwise up in the zone. Well, that batting average down for Santana. The 15 home runs tells you that he can back leg a fastball.
22 doubles also.
.345 on base percentage. Way outside. Full count.
When you have a guy at the plate, especially if he rolls into a lot of double plays, I would not be surprised if the Indians are on the move here on a 3-2 count, even with one out.
Interesting body language there for Garrett. Three-two pitch. There's a bouncer toward first. Albert's only plays to first base. 2 outs. The door to third. Brantley to second now. 2 away. Chisenhall coming up. To me, that's a pitch you could have done 3 pitches before.
Yeah, exactly. He was more apt to roll over on that off-speed breaking ball.
Chisenhall with a base hit in the second. 1 for 1. .258 average with men in scoring position this year. He takes a strike. Chisenhall, former first-round pick of Cleveland, 2008. Shoots this one out toward left field. That'll get down, and it'll bring in 2. Cleveland's on top 3-1. I mentioned his numbers with men in scoring position. It goes up with 2 outs. He's a .280 hitter with men in scoring position and 2 outs, and he delivers a big single here.
As I recall, a very similar pitch his first at bat when he got a hit. You know, it was good velocity on the fastball, was down on the inner half of the plate at 96. The second hit on a very similar pitch.
Yan Gomes looks at a strike. He had a sac fly in the second, picking up his 32nd RBI. Outside. Again, Garrett keeps kicking at that landing area. Somehow you got to make an adjustment. I mean, it's not going to go anywhere.
There's going to be a little bit more mud on your cleats because of the somewhat wet surface when you land.
One ball, two strikes. .58 pitches thrown by Garrett. He's allowed 6 hits. 3 in the second, 3 in the third. This after retiring to side in order in the first inning. Gomes went around, and that'll do it for the Indians. Although they take the lead on those 3 hits, they scored twice. We'll head to the 4th. The Angels trailing 3-1. Eight-minute rain delay in the bottom of the third inning. And Garrett, after getting Santana on a ground ball out, gives up the 2-out single to Chisenhall to put the Indians on top. Corey Kluber getting a couple extra pitches here. As we begin the 4th inning, Murphy, Ibar, and Crone coming up for the Angels. Kluber is coming off a 1-2-3 third, retiring the top of the order in order. 45 pitches, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk.
It's been a real long time since he's been back out on the mound. When you think about it, Richards was out on the mound during just before the rain started coming in, the rain delay, so it's been a while for Kluber. You might want to be even more aggressive against him early.
David Murphy, a fly ball to left, and he shoots one out to straightaway center field. Chasing Almonte back. He pulls up. That's gone. A big fly for David Murphy on the first pitch of the fourth. For David, his 8th of the season. It cuts the Angels' deficit to 1.
We suspected being aggressive against him early on after that long delay for him since he's been back out on the mound. And 2 runs scored on 2 pitches in this game against Kluber. First pitch of the game by Calhoun out of the ballpark, and Murphy gets a first pitch fastball dead center field for Murphy's 8th home run, 36th RBI.
Ibar takes down and in. Eric grounded out in the second. Pretty good poke by Murphy. Straightaway center, 413 feet.
Hit that one right on the line. Thought he had one last night. It was caught right at the wall.
Eric fouls it off. 2 balls, 1 strike.
About how well Murphy has hit his last 11 starts. He's got hits in 10 of his last. Now make that 11 of his last 12 starts. Now 3 home runs.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Crone on deck. This one sliced through the left side, a base hit. Good piece of hitting by Ibar. Brought the hands in, shot it the other way, and it'll put a man on for Crone.
On that 2-seam fastball, he knows it's going to run back out over the plate just enough to slap that one in the hole between short and third, putting the ball in play. That's a good movement on that 2-seam fastball. And you look for certain patterns, certain counts where Kluber will throw, whether it's his 2-seam fastball, cut fastball, or curveball. It's one thing that Paul Sorrento told me today. They have data on all that stuff as far as what pitches Kluber will throw more than likely in certain counts.
Fastball upstairs. CJ 1 for 1. He doubled in the left field corner in the second. 14th double of the year. This one shot down the line, slicing foul. One and one. Battles with 4 hits, 2 of which have been home runs. Calhoun and Murphy. This one's out towards shallow left center field. Now Monte comes in. 1 down.
At bat for Los Angeles, the catcher, Chris Iannetta.
So up steps Chris Iannetta. Struck out looking in the second. Iannetta struck out looking in the second.
This one's out to center field. Now Monty back a couple of steps. Ibar looks like he's tagging, and he will stay right there. 2 outs. Monty with a pretty good throwing arm.
One outfield assist this season for the Cleveland Indians. Kind of bad idea for Eric, just in case he doesn't assume he's going to go there and catch that flat-footed. Press the issue, get into scoring position.
Coward chases the high fastball. Caleb drew a walk on 4 pitches in the second inning, the only free pass that Kluber has allowed. This one down the left field line. Long run for Brantley, and that will get down. That's a fair ball. Ibar on his way over to third. Misplayed by Brantley. Eric keeps on running, and this game is tied at 3.
Boy, a break there for the Angels. Coward going the other way, flared that one to left field. And Brantley, as he got close to that wall, instead of playing the carom, tried to cut it off, and it got by him. Flares that right down the line as it works towards the wall, reaches out and runs into the wall. Baseball gets away from him. That play right there, you're not going to be able to prevent the double anyhow, and Eric Ibar is going to be content at that point at third base, but tried to cut it off instead of playing the carom off the wall.
Almost as if he was kind of caught in between as to what he wanted to do. Made a late decision, gets charged with an error. That's his second of the year. It's a double for Caleb, no RBI. And here's Grant Green. 3-3 ties. The Angels answer back here in the 4th. Grant struck out in the second.
Base running by Eric to be able to score once that ball got away from Brantley in left field, tying it up.
Big lead for Caleb over at second. Green goes down swinging for the second time tonight, and he leaves a man in scoring position, but the Angels do tie it up. Murphy got it started first pitch of the 4th with a home run and a big error by Michael Brantley.
Yeah, some good swings in that inning going the other way, but that home run by Murphy got it started.
Angels baseball is brought to you by the Dodge Charger with an EPA estimated 31 highway miles per gallon. This car was made for driving in California. Visit Dodge.com. By AT Uverse, more live channels on the go than cable. And by Subaru. Test drive the all-new 2015 Subaru Forester or go to Subaru.com to learn more.
Bottom of the fourth here in Cleveland. Little rain delay that lasted about 38 minutes. Cleveland struck for 2 in the third. The Angels answered back with 2 in the fourth inning. Helped down, of course, the error by Brantley. And big error considering Grant Green struck out. Otherwise, the Angels would have had second and third and would still be down by a run. So Garrett needs to go back out there and throw up a 0. He'll face the bottom third of the order, Almonte, Urshela, and Ramirez.
It's a time when you're Garrett Richards, you got to go out there with a little fire underneath you right now on your offense. It's right back after you give up a 2-run single to Chisenhall and tie it up.
Almonte swinging first pitch, comes up empty. He struck out in the second, so he's 0 for 1. Breaking ball, and that's a beauty.
Good curveball. Got him last time out, swinging on the breaking ball.
One and 2. Garrett with 3 strikeouts, no walks, 6 hits allowed.
With a lot of strikes, 44 strikes in his 62 pitches.
So over to Grant. 1 down.
Back to my Hyundai key for this game for the Angels to be successful. Times like these, it's an opportunity now as a starting pitcher to be able to fight your way through that 5th, 6th, maybe even to the 7th inning, depending on pitch count, to give your team a chance and yourself an opportunity to pick up a W. An ace of a staff, these are the times where you go out there and just really fight to give your team a chance to win a game. It shows some fire in there also.
Urshela with a base hit in the second is 1 for 1. Angels will have the top of their order coming up in the 5th as Urshela lines one out to left field. Murphy is there. 2 down.
The batter for the Indians, the second baseman, Jose Ramirez.
Ramirez grounded out to Grant Green in the second. 0 for 1. Garrett's come out throwing first pitch strikes. Just off the plate, not by much. 2-1 count. Texas now leading the Orioles 3-0 at the bottom of the 4th. They're still batting. Houston leading Minnesota 4-1 in the 6th. 2 balls, 2 strikes now.
Challenging with a fastball pretty much right down the heart of the plate at 95 to get a swing and miss.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Ramirez in a 1-2-3 inning for Garrett. We head to the 5th with the top of the order coming up. It's a 3-3 game.
Right off the get-go, first pitch of the game, Cole Calhoun, 20th home run of the season. Chisenhall, after a 38-minute rain delay, coming through with a clutch single to left center field, scoring 2, but then David Murphy going to dead center field on the very first pitch. Caleb Cowart down the left field line, doubles, and the ball gets away from Michael Brantley and scores. Eric Ibar, who had a good at bat himself, singling the other way, tying the game up at 3.
Cole leading things off here in the 5th, 3-3 tie. Takes outside. He's 1 for 2 with that home run in the first inning, a fly ball to left in the third. 67 runs batted in for Cole now. 7th home run he's hit in the month of August. Kluber gets the call. That pitch off the plate, but Vanover's had a wide strike zone tonight. Breaking pitch out toward left center. Now Monty has to hustle back, makes the catch for out number 1. Hey folks, the Angels host the Astros on September the 11th at 7:05. Fans in attendance will receive a Mike Trout Freedom shirt courtesy of State Farm while supplies last. Get your tickets at the stadium box office or online.
How did you manage to do that with Mike Trout coming to the plate? How'd you know that?
Not me. It's just like a teleprompter, man. It's in front of me. I just read it.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Timing.
Trout looks at a breaking pitch for ball 1. Mike 0 for 2 with a ground ball to short and a fly ball to left. This one gets the first pitch in the 3rd inning.
Pretty good cut fastball there at 89. There's a 2-seam, 4-seam fastball. Also his cut fastball, slider, very good curveball, occasional changeup. Very rarely does he throw a changeup to a right-handed batter, though.
This one lifted out to right. With that fastball in. 2 outs. So up steps Pujols with the bases clear. Kluber with 4 strikeouts, 1 walk, 5 hits allowed. The 3rd time this year in which he's allowed 2 or more home runs in a game. 2 starts ago, gave up 4 home runs at Fenway Park. Gave up 6 runs in that one.
I think Gomes wanted that pitch called. Cut fastball in the inner half of the plate. Looks like it got quite a bit of the strike zone.
Mistake pitch there by Kluber. Albert fouls it back. 2-1. Both starters tonight have had some pitches in the upper part of the strike zone, which is kind of uncharacteristic for them. Two balls, 2 strikes.
That was a solid breaking ball from Kluber there on a 2-1 count.
Albert yanks with foul. Cal remains at 2-2, and an Angel fan hits the baseball. At least the kid is.
Yeah, someone's going to say at least the kid is.
Albert reaching for that, breaks his bat, bounces it over to third. Halos go down in order. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Indians at the top of their order coming up. Still time. Thursday the 3rd, Jim Harbaugh makes his debut as the head coach of Michigan as they will take on the Utah Utes, trying to avenge their loss in Ann Arbor last year. The only place you can see it is on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live Fox Sports Go.
I'm watching for sure. I'm pumped up now.
Michigan is upset. What?
You upset?
Oh, they're upset they lost last year in Ann Arbor, homeboy. Aren't you listening? Let's go.
Did you say something?
Yeah, exactly. There's a shocker. Top of the order, Kipnis, Lindor, and Brantley. Kipnis 0 for 2. He's the DH tonight. Grounded out twice. Garrett, a very good 4th inning. Came out 3 strikes, retired the side in order. Second time he's done that tonight.
He's gotten Kipnis to roll over twice on curveballs. Once to Pujols, the other to Grant Green.
You get a good hitter, give you that kind of a look after a swing. Because you're having a hard time picking up the baseball.
Got to go with that same pitch again. But Kipnis was thinking the same pitch. He got a cut fastball instead.
Happy to move that hand off the bat.
Yes.
Upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. .35 doubles, 6 triples, 7 home runs for Jason Kipnis. From the DL the first time these two teams met. Up and away, full count. Up on the third base side. Caleb racing over near the railing, makes the catch, and then goes down a couple of steps. Nice play by Coward. I netted nowhere to be found. I don't know if Chris never saw it.
Yeah, because right away, here Richard pointed up, and Iannetta had no idea where it went, but nice play by Coward, keeping his eye on the baseball, even as he's going in, falling into the dugout. Holds on to the baseball. Excellent play. He's done some nice things defensively.
One out, nobody on, and Francisco Lindor coming up. Shortstop, 1 for 2. Singleton scored in the third.
Never looked over to Coward to make sure he was okay. Nice play. Good slider there from Richards. Another count ahead 0-2. Going to finish him off right now. First at bat against Lindor was ahead 0-2, and then Payne at the outside corner with a fastball.
Missed off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Oh, good off-speed pitch. Lindor just could not hold up. 2 outs.
His slider has been good, but his curveball has been excellent. Particularly against left-handed batters. See how sharp this break is. Straight down, 12-6 break on that curveball. That one at 81, a little harder than some of the ones we've seen at 78, 79, but a very solid pitch from Richards.
Brantley 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. Seven in a row. Check that, 6 in a row retired by Richards. It's the 2 RBI single in the third. Garrett now with 4 strikeouts. Fouled off into the seats. 1-1. The Angels in the 6th inning have Murphy, Ibar, and Crone coming up. This one down the line, foul. He can turn on that pitch on the inside part of the plate, can he?
Even a 94-mile-an-hour cut fastball.
Saw it last night with the double that he pulled inside the bat.
And now that he's aware of that cut fastball in, he's got to respect that fastball in the inner half of the plate. That's when you can throw that curveball in the outer half. Keep it down. Either get a swing and miss or a ground ball in the infield.
Full count now. Garrett visibly upset. 85 pitches for him. Three-two. That's pulled foul.
And another pitch towards the inner half of the plate. That was a slider. He's still super quick on that part of the plate, Brantley.
Going back outside. Foul off.
That's the right pitch. Fastball away. Especially when he's been pretty good on the inner half of the plate.
With the amount of pitches he's thrown, it's going to be another bullpen affair for the Angels. A couple of long innings in the second and the third. 6 hits allowed. Saw Brantley do this a little bit last night too. Wear out a pitch count, foul balls. He's really become a very good hitter at the major league level. He's getting better. Under the radar too, because he plays here in Cleveland.
Exactly, uses the entire field. A doubles machine.
This one lined just beyond the reach of Ibar into left center. A 2-out single. Brantley with his second hit of the night.
Right on cue with that swing that's going the other way. You can see his approach is quiet, relaxed hands at the plate. Stays back on it well. Gets his foot down as far as his timing mechanism. And he serves that ball in the left center field.
So Santana will bat. 2 outs and a man on. Maybe his first baseman 1 for 2, singled and scored in the second.
Might see a throw or two over the first base with Brantley's speed here.
Grant Green out in shallow right field with a shift on. Santana lifts one out towards shallow right. Cole comes in and will put it away for the 3rd out. 5 complete in Cleveland. Still tied at 3.
Smiles up in Toronto also today. Edwin Encarnacion already had 2 home runs. Looking for number 3, the right center field out of the ballpark. For Encarnacion, they showered the field with hats for the hat trick. Curtain call also. A special moment there in Toronto. They are crushing the baseball. The hat trick. Home of the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto.
David Murphy looks at a strike to start the 6th inning. The Blue Jays 15-1 winners. Have a 1.5 lead going into today over the New York Yankees. The Yankees currently leading Atlanta 2-1 in Atlanta. Houston has a 3-run lead over Minnesota. Orioles and Rangers tied at 3. Angels and Indians tied at 3.
Murphy lines one out toward left center field. Almonte got a good jump on it, almost overruns it, slams on the brakes, leaps up, makes the catch for the first down.
Yeah, you mentioned he had a good jump on. He needed all that jump to be able to catch that shot by David Murphy after he misread it off the bat. And some good swings against Kluber tonight. Another pitch upstairs. Comes in, then has to jump up and make a good play on a well-hit baseball from Murphy.
Well, that's one way to catch that ball. Murphy 1 for 3. Ibar drops a bunt foul. Eric 1 for 2. Singleton scored his last time up.
Coming in this game, lefties 259 against Kluber. Righties 195. Cole's 1 for 3. Calhoun, he's at home run. He's hit 2 baseballs very well to the outfield. One to left and one to center, but tracked down.
Oh, 1. Pulled foul. The Angels with 3 runs on 5 hits have stranded 3. Cleveland with 3 runs, 7 hits, 1 error, and 4 men left on base. 1 big error too. Allowed the Angels to score the tying run last inning, pardon me, 4th inning. 1 and 2. C.J. Cron on deck. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock start local time. Angels wrap up this series. Jared Weaver on the mound up against Josh Tomlin. The Angels' first time facing Tomlin this year. Ibar goes down swinging for the second out. 5th strikeout for Kluber. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. 2 down, nobody on, and here's Cron, who's 1 for 2. Double and a fly ball to center.
A dangerous spot if you're a pitcher to throw a hanging breaking ball in the inner half of the plate. C.J. Cron. Love to see that pitch again. Inner half.
Just off the plate. A 2-ball, 1 strike count. A rain delay that occurred in the 3rd inning. 38 minutes. Both starters still on the mound. Kluber at 84 pitches. 3-1. He kicks at the landing area now.
Good count to do some damage now for Cron. A little fastball away, it looks like.
Went upstairs.
Tried to untie it.
I'd imagine that Kluber goes back to the slider here.
Especially when you throw a fastball in the outer half of the plate the pitch before.
Breaking ball lifted foul. We'll reset and do it again at 3 balls, 2 strikes. Just off the plate, and he works the walk with 2 outs. Second free pass issued by Kluber. We'll bring up Chris Iannetta.
The batter from Los Angeles.
Chris 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a fly ball to center field. Chris fouls it off.
'90th pitch now for Kluber. Some deep counts against him. Getting that pitch count up.
Check to swing. 2 balls and a strike. That'll even up the count. Growing not a very big lead over at first base with 2 outs. CJ will get a head start here with a full count. Some movement now in the Indians bullpen. Cron takes off. 3-2, and that is outside. So back-to-back walks.
Just a little bit off the outside corner with his cut fastball.
It's surprising, though, considering the strike zone the Vanovers had tonight. The Angels will certainly take it. So Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach, can come out and pay a visit. Crockett, first man up now for Cleveland. Halos have Caleb Coward up now.
Put on base twice with a walk and that flare double down the left field line. And eventually scored Eric Ibar.
Batting for Los Angeles, third baseman Caleb Coward.
Caleb will walk and a double. Second double of the year.
Kluber starting to labor a little bit now.
Might be his last batter.
More apt to make a mistake over the plate.
Count even up at 1 ball, 1 strike. Caleb with every passing game seems like looks more confident with every at bat. So trying to get adjusted here at the major league level. Big rip there.
Now your approach has to be to shorten up your swing now. Very similar to what he did last at bat. Hit that double down the left field line. It's got that timing mechanism he has. More of a higher leg kick now. Started doing that earlier this year in A-ball.
1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, got him looking down, goes Cowart. The Angels are done here in the 6th inning. Still tied at 3. Fan photo to hashtag West Data Strong Fan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. Big group of Angel fans out there got to the ballpark today, waiting to come in. They were behind home plate during batting practice.
As usual, Mike Trout signing tons of autographs for him.
Garrett back out on the mound here, the bottom of the 6th inning, tied at 3. He's got Chisenhall, Gomes, and Almonte coming up. Chisenhall's touched him for 2 hits, 2 for 2, a couple of RBIs.
Both times it was that 96-mile-an-hour cut fastball on the inner half of the plate and down, dropping the head of the bat successfully twice.
Chisenhall now with a 10-game hitting streak. 33 RBIs on the season. Two balls, no strikes. Nobody warming up for the Angels as of yet. Some movement going on out there, though. New bullpen's out in right center field. Chisenhall yanks that one foul. That got in the seats quickly. Oh, no. I hope it didn't hit that little girl. Two and two. Chisenhall goes down looking and he knows it. 1 down.
Yeah, like that sequence by Richards against him. Did well against him on the cut fast, but this time going with a lot of sliders. And that last one splitting the plate at 86.
Six strikeouts now for Garrett. Here's Gomes, sac fly in the 2nd inning, a strikeout in the 3rd. Foul tipped, and it's 0-1.
Still good life in the fastball now at a 96. on the 96th pitch of the game.
Think he planned that?
I think so.
Be great if he go 97 on the 97th pitch, 98.
He's got 98 right here. That was a hard slider at 89.
That's the pitch that got Gomes to strike out in the third.
Touching 90 with his slider.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Cesar Ramos, lefty, is the first man up for the Angels. Got him looking. 2 down. That's back-to-back punch outs and both looking.
Both nasty sliders. Talked about the need for that pitch today as my go-tos, and certainly been able to go to this in this inning. 2 very good sliders called their strikes.
Action still continuing in the Indians' pen, so might be all for Corey Kluber. Zach Crockett still loose here. Pardon me, Kyle Crockett.
%70 of his pitches tonight have been in the strike zone for Richards. It was 100.
0-2.
He's throwing some real good curveballs to Almonte in this game. And to finish off his performance and hoping his offense can score some runs in the top of the 7th.
A little dribbler foul. Almonte 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground ball to second. Under 2 pitches thrown by Garrett. Trying to finish off the 7th place hitter. Almonte, it's a little dribbler. Garrett. The underhand flip to Pujols in a 1-2-3-6. We head to the 7th. 9-1-2 coming up for the Angels. Tied at 3. The 6th inning easily. Doesn't look like he's coming out of the game either. Good to see him work the 7th. The Angels are pinch hitting David DeJesus here. And with that, that means Terry Francona, Mr. Matchup, is going to come out and make a move. With Crockett ready to go. Kluber will be done after 6 innings, 5 hits, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks, 3 runs, and 2 earned. He'll walk off to a nice round of applause. A pitching change. First of the night in the 7th, 3-3 game.
Get a fast free quote and see how much you can save. By USAA, proudly serving the needs of the military community for over 90 years. And by Hyundai, the summer clearance is going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
Top of the 7th, 3-3 tie, and a new pitcher on for the Cleveland Indians. Kyle Crockett takes over. It's in and out, who's in, who's out. Kluber done after 6 innings. Crockett, the 23-year-old University of Virginia product, 4th-round pick in 2013, pitching in his 22nd game at the major league level this year. Facing Shane Victorino, comes in to pinch hit for David DeJesus and pulls the first one foul. So DeJesus announced and now done. Victorino. Just a pinch hitting opportunity here. Ryan Jackson will take over at second base. There's Kluber. Not as crisp as we've seen him in the past.
That's really struggled in his career versus the Angels. Not real good numbers against the Halos as compared to other clubs he's faced. Crockett's fastball's 87-91. Slider, you saw that pitch right there, and changeup.
No record in a 3.86 ERA. See Victorino's numbers, 2.29 on the year.
275 career as a pinch hitter. Pretty solid numbers.
1-1 pulled, and nice diving play by Urshela, the third baseman, to rob Victorino of extra bases, 1 out.
Oh, crushed that baseball. Urshela with a very good play. That is the hot corner. What a play.
Hitting for Los Angeles, number 56, Cole Calhoun.
Cole 1 for 3 with a home run in the first inning. Very first pitch of the ball game. One ball, no strikes. Home run for Cole is 20th. The RBI is 67th. Ryan Shaw getting ready now. 2-0.
And he'll be brought in to face Mike Trout, who's on deck.
Cole lifts one out the left. Bradley back and now to his left. 2 down. Bring up Trout. Here comes Terry Francona. It'll match up with Shaw and Trout here. Crockett gets the 2 batters he needs to get. So we will have another pitching change here in the 7th inning. Still tied at 3.
Indians tied at 3. Dude's got something on his hat. She seems amused.
Yes.
Trout will be facing Brian Shaw. Shaw with good numbers. 57th game. 2-2 record. 2.47 ERA and a razor blade for a slider.
Yeah, he throws a slider, cut fastball pretty much every pitch. Fastball's going to be around 90-94.
The center fielder, Mike Trout.
Especially with that cut fastball out over the plate. Look for Trout to try to drive that one with authority to right center field.
Trout 0 for 3. Ground out and 2 fly ball outs. First pitch a strike.
That was a pitch to do some damage right there for Trout. He knew what he had a pitch to do. Crush 92-mile-an-hour cut fastball right over the middle of the plate. Tried to go inside on that pitch. Left it out over the plate, though. With a slider here.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Indians in the bottom of the 7th have 8, 9, and 1 coming up. Nobody warming up for the Angels. So Garrett appears to be coming back out after a 1-2-3 6th. The 1-2 way outside. Missed in. Full count. Shaw originally 2nd round pick by the Diamondbacks in 08 at Long Beach State. From Livermore, California, Northern California. Payoff on the way now. And he walked him. So a 2-out walk puts a man on the go-ahead run for the Angels, and Pujols coming up.
Hitting for Los Angeles, number 5, Albert Pujols.
Albert tonight 0 for 3. 2 ground outs and a strikeout. Albert 1 for 3 in his career against Shaw. Big lead for Trout over at first. Albert takes a strike.
Shaw has allowed 4 stolen bases in 5 attempts against him.
Breaking ball misses.
And you can tell by just the way he goes in that stretch position, you should be able to get a good jump against him. Brings that glove down to very low, so then he brings the glove up, and then the throwing motion means his times to the plate are going to be a little bit slower.
Quick throw. Jump throw over to first.
And he's bringing his hands low, then he has to bring his hands up high and then get in that throwing motion. It's going to be around that 1-4, 1-5 range as far as times to the plate.
Two balls, 1 strike. Indians took a 3-1 lead in the bottom of the 3rd inning. A 2-out single by Chisenhome. The Angels tied it up in the 4th. Leadoff home run by Murphy. And Ibar scored on the double and an error. Michael Brantley. That's where we stand right now. Here's the 2-1. Inside. 3-1. Murphy on deck.
Go fastball, cut fastball away.
Trout takes off. Pitch is cued foul. Full count. Trout had a good jump. He's going to take off again with 2 outs.
Trout's speed, gapper by Pujols, should be able to score him.
Trout takes off. 3-2 in the air to right field. Chisenhall is there. The Angels are done here in the 7th. Stretch time in Cleveland. Still tied at 3. For the Cleveland Indians, Urshela, Ramirez, and Kipnis. And a good start for Garrett. 7 strikeouts, no walks, 7 hits allowed. We'll have a new second baseman, Ryan Jackson, taking over for Grant Green.
It's good to see Richards back out on the mound here in the 7th. 103 pitches thrown, no walks, 7 punchouts. With 11 strikeouts against the Indians back on August 3rd.
103 pitches so far. Giovanni Urshela, the third baseman, 1 for 2. He singled in the second. Fly ball, I should say, to left field the 4th inning. Fastball high. Richards had the breaking ball working in the 6th inning, getting 2 strikeouts looking.
Urshela lost control of the bat on the swing.
2 balls, 1 strike. A little over 22,000 here on this Saturday night. Fireworks after the game. Waited through that 38-minute rain delay. Scott foul. It's 2-2. This one out to center field. Trout's there. 1 down.
Follow the Angels the rest of the season on MLB.com at Bat app, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, statcast, and more. Get MLB.com at Bat for your smartphone or tablet today. 1 out, nobody on. Second baseman Jose Ramirez at the plate. 0 for 2 so far tonight. The ground ball to second and a strikeout.
Looked like he went around. That's a strike. It doesn't matter. Vanover calling it.
He's had a real good feel for that slider his last 3-4 innings for Richards.
One ball, 2 strikes. .111 pitches thrown by Garrett so far. And 112 strikes out Ramirez, 2 outs.
Boy, that slider almost split the plate like a split finger fastball the way it ran away. Kind of backed up, trying to throw that slider down and in. And that baseball went down and away. Slider once again, 8th punch out.
Season high in pitches for Garrett, 113. He's done that twice. The last time, July 18th against Boston. Facing Kipnis, the DH tonight is 0 for 3.
Kipnis still looking for that breaking ball, and Richards is throwing good sliders and curveballs.
Down and in. One. Fouled off, 1-2.
It's another one of those sliders that backed up on him. What that tells you, he's getting around that slider, dropping his wrist, flattening out that pitch. Trying to fight through this inning, finish it off, pretty much will be it for Richards.
Overthrown breaking ball, 2-2.
Yeah, you can see that right now at this point with that pitch count up to 116, especially you mix in a 38-minute delay. Fatigue starting to set in on that arm. Garrett Richards. Jose Alvarez up in the bullpen now.
2-2 now. Kipnis strikes out swinging. Garrett Richards finishes strong, retiring the last 7 he faced. We head to the 8th, tied at 3.
Are tied up at 3, heading to the top of the 8th. I'm Patrick O'Neill. Stick around after this game for our Angels Live post-game show. Obviously talk about Garrett Richards, his performance, especially dealing with that rain delay. Jose Mota wants to talk about Cole Calhoun, who started this game in an 0-for-17 slump, but apparently Don Baylor said something specific to Cole, and Jose is going to let us know what that is. You know, by the way, guys, Victor and Mark, Angels have been pretty successful in one-run games this year, and perhaps we're heading that way. Back to you.
That is the hope. See if the Angels can knot the series up at a game apiece. Brian Shaw still on the mound, facing David Murphy, Eric Ibar, and C.J. Cron here in the 8th inning.
They've been very good as far as those one-run games. The Angels, close games, 2-1 and 1 run. But what a job by Garrett Richards. Really stepped forward in his last 3-4 innings and has dominated.
Murphy chops this one to second. David retired for the first down here in the 8th.
.117 pitches thrown, 9 strikeouts. No walks, retired 13 of the last 14 batters. 20 strikeouts in 2 starts against Cleveland this year.
Ibar looks at a strike. Eric 1 for 3, singled and scored in the 4th. The Angels have Joe Smith getting ready, the former Indian. Cleveland has Lindor, Brantley, and Santana due up in the 8th, 2, 3, and 4. Chopper to short. 2 outs.
Stepping in for Los Angeles, number 24, C.J. Cron.
Handles with 5 hits once again tonight. They've had a couple of opportunities, but no real threats against Kluber. They did get the back-to-back walks in the 6th inning, but then Coward struck out looking. Cron late on that one, fouls it off. It's an 0-1 count. CJ 1 for 2 with a double, a fly ball to center to walk. Oh, 2.
Kind of hanging cut fastball out over the plate.
Back up the middle, that'll sneak through for Cron's second hit of the game. 2-out single puts a man on. And it's Chris Iannetta coming up.
The catcher, Chris Iannetta.
Chris 0 for 2. A strikeout, a fly ball to center, and a walk. Nice block by Gomes. A 1-0 count for Chris. Iannetta shoots one out toward right center field. Not very deep. Racing in is Almonte, and we will head to the bottom of the 8th inning, still tied at 3. Tie here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Joe Smith takes over on the mound for the Angels. They'll be facing 2, 3, and 4 coming up for Cleveland. 58th game, 4-3 mark, and a 2.82 earned run average.
So with that good sinking fastball, was at around 87 to 90 range. Good sweeping slider. Go through that tough part of the lineup for Cleveland.
In the bottom of the 8th inning, a new pitcher for Los Angeles. It's number 38, Joe Smith. Leading off for the Tribe, number 12, Francisco Lindor.
Francisco Lindor 1 for 3 as he leads off the 8th inning. Joe pitched parts of 5 seasons with Cleveland, 18 and 11. 3 saves and a 2.76 ERA. Ohio native. The high school in Batavia. College in Dayton, Ohio, Wright State University.
third round pick of the Mets in 06. One ball, one strike. Joe last pitched in Thursday's game against Detroit with 2/3 of an inning. He hit and had one strikeout. One. 1-2. Richards finished with 7 innings, 7 hits, 9 strikeouts, no walks. 3 runs allowed.
Very impressive outing for Richards. Tired 14 of the last 15 batters.
Indians have Cody Allen getting ready. Closed out the game for Cleveland last night. The 2-2 pitch. Spoils a pretty good one. A backdoor slider. Pulled the trigger at the last second. Important thing about Garrett in his 7 innings, the bullpen a little bit of a rest. For now. Never know. Another foul. Seven pitches to start off this 8th inning.
Trying to stay alive, looking for a mistake. Joe with good movement both on his 2-seam fastball and slider.
Door rips one out to right field. It's a leadoff single. Cole cut that one off, fortunately. Otherwise, you're talking about 3 bases.
Especially because the outfield grass a little wet from that rain delay earlier. That ball could have skipped by him. Door did a nice job of fighting off some tough pitches from Joe Smith. Finally got a pitch he could do some damage to. Got it and didn't miss it.
I would imagine that he might be on the move here. 6 stolen bases. Has been caught twice. Joe very good at varying his looks to first base.
He has a very good move.
Brantley pulls one to right field. A base hit. Lindor will stop at second. So now the first 2 have reached against Smith here in the 8th. Carlos Santana coming to the plate. Brantley with his 3rd hit. He's now 3 for 4.
Stayed down on that baseball very well to shoot that in the hole between first and second, Brantley. One thing with Joe Smith, because he is a ground ball pitcher, he can get that ground ball to a guy that's rolled into a number of double plays. And Santana with 18. Be surprised if he would square around the bunt.
Santana 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. Called time, tired of waiting. Outfield playing in a little bit. Lindor with very good speed at second base. Ibar moves over out of the second base side of the bag. Coward, the only man standing on the left side. defensively. 1-0.
First, second no outs, though. The Spartan lineup. Expect Santana to square around. There's no sacrifice bunts this year.
He pulls one past Pujols into right. Lindor will come in to score. Bradley on his way to third. Santana with an RBI single, and now Bradley gets stopped at third. Cole had some troubles with the baseball, and Cleveland now leads it 4-3. It's a double for Santana. I don't know if something's going on with Bradley, if he's not feeling good, but he was really going slow go from first to third.
Especially because that baseball was hit so well. No way you're going to be able to cut that one off. Here's the top tier play of the game brought to you by Arco. Carlos Santana went down and got that pitch from Joe Smith, hooked it right into the corner. It looked like Brantley at that spot kind of stumbled a little bit at the second base bag before stopping at third.
There you go, walk Chisenhall. It'll load him up for Yan Gomes. 3 straight hits and now an intentional walk against Joe Smith. Bedrosian now loosening. Here comes. Look like Mike Scioscia's getting ready to come out of the dugout. Nope, he stays there. Infield in. Yan Gomes, the catcher, a sac fly and 2 strikeouts. The Indians now with their 11th consecutive home game with 10 or more hits. Gomes drives one out to deep center field. Trout racing back, and that is gone. A grand slam for Yan Gomes. First career slam, and it's 8-3 Indians.
Just like we saw last night from Cleveland with 3 runs in the 7th, 5 runs here in the 8th against a very reliable Joe Smith. Yan Gomes, fastball mislocation for Joe, and Gomes dead center field for his first career grand slam. Mike Scioscia going to go to the bullpen now.
Not what you expected, but a bullpen that has been overworked over the last couple of weeks. And Joe just didn't have much on his pitches, whether it was the sinker or the slider. He gives up 5 runs. Indians lead at 8-3.
no outs. Cam Bedrosian in the game now for Joe Smith. 1-0 mark. This is his 23rd game ERA, 5.63. 20 punch-outs in 24 innings pitched, but the 14 walks for Cam has been his big issue this year. Fastball, 93-96. Good slider, solid changeup, but stay within that realm of not overthrowing the baseball is so important for Cam Bedrosian to hit his spots.
Nobody out here in the 8th inning, and an extremely rough outing for Joe Smith. 5 batters, 4 hits, 1 intentional walk. He gets charged with all 5 runs.
Number 35, Abraham Almonte.
Abraham Almonte up, center fielder. Almonte 0 for 3 with a strikeout, 2 groundouts. This one fouled off. And it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jeff Manship now has begun throwing in the pen for Cleveland. No longer a save opportunity for Cody Allen. Two balls and 2 strikes. That is just off the plate, full count. The 5 runs allowed by Joe Smith, a career high for him. He allowed 4. 7 occasions. He did that earlier this year. You recall back on May 26th against the Padres. This one's bounced over to first. But never allowed more than 4 in his long career.
It's been so good for such a long period of time.
I said to you right after the Brantley single, not on the air, but I was just motioning with it. Just didn't look like he had a whole lot of bite to the breaking pitch. And the sinker was just kind of just okay. Starting to get to that time of year, especially not so much the innings or the amount of games pitched, but the stress that these guys have had to endure over, especially over the last week and a half.
And the time's up where he has been. A couple times he's been up where he hasn't been in the game.
This one out to right. Cole will make the catch.
So a lot of wear and tear on that arm. So yeah, it's not abnormal to not have quite that bite on the sinker, that snap on the slider. One thing with Joe, he'll never make any excuses, but you can just see the way the baseball was getting through closer to the plate. Didn't have that sink action. Didn't have that real sharp break to the slider. Very difficult. A lot of appearances out of the bullpen. A lot of tight games for the bullpen to try to either keep it tied or protect a very low scoring lead.
No balls, 2 strikes here on Ramirez, the second baseman. One and 2.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Just missed off the inside part of the plate. Halos in the 9th inning of 8, 9, and 1 due up. This one's hit out to right, another hit. On a 2-2 count, 12th hit of the night for Cleveland. And that'll bring up Kipnis, the leadoff man. Go back to, it's easy to talk about Smith and the 5 runs because it is stunning for him since it is the first time he's ever done that. But in the offense tonight, really scoring 2 runs. The third was on the arrow by Brantley.
A couple solo shots on first pitches against Kluber.
Taylor's just a total of 6 hits.
Boy, Richards really pitched Kipnis well tonight.
Yep. 0 for 4. Struck him out the last time up in the 7th. A 5-run 8th inning for Cleveland to take an 8-3 lead. Foul to play. It's 1-2.
Amazing when you mentioned earlier in the game how Cleveland at home, as far as hit totals, that streak they've been on.
This is their best month offensively all season long. Batting 275. That's gone up today with the 12 hits. The skies one on the third base side, headed toward the seats.
And a lot of people coming into the season anticipating a pretty solid offense to go along with that great starting staff. Hasn't really worked that way consistently, at least until this month, as far as their offense. Pitching very good, especially the starting staff.
They've been better here at home of late. They've won 8 of the last 10. This is a team that is coming into tonight 7 games under 500 here at home. This fouls it off, spoils the pitch. Astros won tonight. The Rangers won tonight. Kipnis hits one out to right. Cole comes in. And we head to the 9th. The Angels down 8-3.
Slam in the 8th inning, a 5-run 8th inning. Angels down 8-3. With 8-9-1 coming up here. Jeff Manship takes over on the mound. For Brian Shaw, who's the pitcher of record for Cleveland, who went in the 3rd. Manship pitching his 20th game, 1-0 record and a 1.48 ERA, 17 strikeouts in 24 and a third innings. It's Caleb Coward, Ryan Jackson, and Cole Calhoun scheduled 3 batters.
For the Angels will be the third baseman, Caleb Coward.
Carlos Perez has actually grabbed the bat. Will pinch hit for Jackson. Jackson only sees a defensive half inning. Ground ball to short. Santana, nice play coming off the bag and applying the tag for out number 1.
Lindor pointing over at him, saved him an error.
For the Angels,
Here right at him, a lot of time.
is number 58, Carlos Perez.
Dropped the elbow, elevated the throw, but a nice play by Santana.
Carlos more than likely behind the plate tomorrow afternoon. The finale of this 3-game set. Jared Weaver, Josh Tomlin. Carlos hitting .222, 3 home runs, 16 runs batted in. 0 for 3 as a pinch hitter. And he will look at a strike, 1-2.
Weaver 9-4 in his career versus Cleveland.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Full count. This was foul back. Another payoff pitch. Perez looked like he went around, and he did. 2 outs. Angels down to the last out here. So lost tonight, they would find themselves just a game over 500 on the season at 65-64. Cole 1 for 4, homered on the very first pitch of the game against Corey Kluber. Lost in this is a terrific strike for Garrett Richards. Little dribbler right side. Manship has it, and the Angels have lost the first 2 of the series to the Indians tonight, the final 8-3.
And credit Cleveland for back-to-back games in which they scored multiple runs late. Yan Gomes grand slam, his first career grand slam, the big swing against Joe Smith. 5 runs in the 8th, 3 runs in the 7th last night as Cleveland wins the first 2 games of the series.
The Angels will try to salvage the finale tomorrow afternoon with Jared Weaver on the mound. Game 2 goes to the Tribe, 8-3. The final. Stick around. Patrick O'Neill, Jose Mota will break it down with Angels Live post game coming up next.